Oh, now with the regular season complete, we got the final regular season top four. Seems pretty easy this week. You still obviously got Alabama at number one. And if you had Ohio State at number two last week, a win over Michigan, obviously you still got the Buckeyes at number two, Clemson at number three, and then Washington sneaking into the top four. Most likely that's going to be the scenario. There's some people, I guess, you could, I don't know. They're claiming Michigan will somehow stay in the top four. Maybe Clemson will move to two, the Buckeyes to three. So, I don't even know if it's my opinion or just what I think is going to be the top four tomorrow. I guess it would also be my opinion, but I don't know. We'll get to more some of the scenarios and maybe more of what I actually think's going on after later on in this video, and looking ahead to next week, because that's really what everybody wants to do, right? We just want to fast forward. We want to get everything done Saturday. I guess ESPN still has to do their show, and I still got to do my YouTube video here tonight. So we got Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, Washington. Then you probably got 5, 6, and 7 in no particular order: Michigan, Penn State, Wisconsin. Probably in that particular order, actually. Maybe if you wanted to put Penn State, Wisconsin, Michigan. But come on, Michigan just lost the close game to Ohio State. Michigan fans, probably anybody that associated with Michigan, not really accepting that loss just yet. But it doesn't matter. 5, 6, 7, 7, 6, 5, whatever. It's pretty amazing that there's 4 Big Ten teams in the top 7, and nobody's really putting up a huge fight about it. And I'm sure there's some I know for a fact there's some SEC fans out there that just, they're going down with a fight. They still just want to believe it's the same SEC from 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago even. But this seems to be the year the Big Ten's got the rough stretch. Especially that side of the Big Ten with Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, all right there. Look, Michigan State had a horrible record this year, but they get the old label. Nobody wants to play the 3-win Michigan State team. Maybe 4. But then, what the hell does happen, though? Let's just assume Clemson wins this weekend. Let's assume that Washington wins this weekend. And then Penn State, Wisconsin. Let's say Penn State wins. Then that's the ultimate question. What are they going to do? Would they leave the Buckeyes out because they didn't win the conference championship? Or would they leave, say, Washington out because they won the Pac-12? The conference that's probably the least respected right now. You see, teams like Oklahoma's not even getting in the conversation. And I really don't, look, I guess as a Buckeyes fan, I would like to say, hey, man, whatever. We're taking the 4 best teams, conference championship or no, it doesn't matter. You got to get Ohio State in there. Just like if Alabama would somehow lose to Florida, Alabama's still in there. Florida probably not. Florida definitely not, even if they beat Alabama. But even with a loss, Alabama's still in there. Probably going to fall out of that 1 slot. So let's just, what will they do if that is the case? God, how do you tell Penn State, yeah, we're taking the Buckeyes over you? Be real, Penn State's not going to mind if Ohio State's in and they're in, no big deal, but then Washington's going to be like, what, the Buckeyes didn't even win their division, and somehow they're in. And then there are weeks, depending on which weeks you tuned in and watched the Buckeyes, watched, you're going to wonder what is their, are they really one of the, look, if you tuned in for the Northwestern game, the Michigan State game, the Wisconsin game, the Penn State game, the Michigan game, say you only saw half of the Indiana game, hell, you only saw half of the Tulsa game. You probably don't think the Buckeyes are one of the best teams in the country. Now look, if you caught Nebraska, Maryland, Rutgers, Oklahoma, that was a big one. And a lot of people, there's a lot of eyeballs on Oklahoma. Not like the 16.6 million that watched Ohio State and Michigan. But my point is, there's times when even as a Buckeye fan, I question, are they one of the top, I haven't seen a whole lot of the Huskies. I've seen quite a bit of Clemson. I'd say, Clemson, Alabama, next to the Buckeyes, I've seen the most of those teams. Well, Michigan State, I saw quite a bit of them. I don't know why. It just seemed like Michigan State, regional thing, but same thing with Clemson. I don't know how Clemson always ended up on TV in Ohio, but so I don't know. As a Buckeyes fan, I'm putting the Buckeyes in. I guess Washington's getting the screw job here. But that's not necessarily fair because I don't know much about Washington. I don't know much about the Pac-12. They might be out there in the West Coast screaming. I don't know if anybody's out there screaming about how good the Pac-12 is. And, Washington does not have the same schedule as Ohio State and Penn State had, or Alabama for that. Alabama's not even in the question. Let's say Washington and Clemson want to start butting heads here. I think Clemson's probably got the argument there, too. Although you look at some of them, not that scores have to matter, but there's times too when I've seen Clemson, I'm like they're very beatable. That's why I'm tuning into Clemson. I'm thinking that's a potential matchup for the Buckeyes later. And the Louisville game, I thought, yeah, I think Ohio State. They're not necessarily scaring me. I think the Buckeyes could beat them. Now look, they got some offense. They can beat the Buckeyes as well. Alabama, though, there are times when I look at them and I'm just like, oh man, I don't know what the Buckeyes offensive line can do with Alabama. I haven't seen much of when Louisville was a contender, they didn't scare anybody. Florida State early on. I don't know why I'm talking about teams right now like this. But rematch with Penn State on a neutral field, that'd be awesome. Same thing with Wisconsin. What about if Wisconsin wins the Big Ten title? Do they somehow sneak in there? At least they don't have the head-to-head argument against the Buckeyes. But I guess there is the scenario where all the teams that are favored this weekend win. Then you got Alabama in, Clemson in. Then who? Penn State in? Say Penn State beats Wisconsin. Are they in? For sure? Yeah, maybe. If the Buckeyes are out, then they're in. Washington's in. I don't know. Somebody's going to be pissed. It seems like there's 4 spots and 5 teams. Right? Is that how it works? Yeah, we got Alabama, Clemson, Buckeyes, Penn State, Washington. Well, or Wisconsin. But Wisconsin, Penn State, one of them's going to lose. So, and then even Michigan might be like, hey, what about us? I know about you, Michigan. You lost at the wrong time. Now, he lost at the wrong time, man. That Iowa game, it was kind of like the Michigan State game for the Buckeyes last year. How'd you lose to Iowa? I don't know. So I don't know. Did I say anything? Did I ramble on? I mean, that's about as. This is what the committee's got to do. I just sat here and did it. Could you imagine having these? I don't even know who's on that damn committee anymore. Is the dude Barry Alvarez and Condoleezza Rice? Are they still on it? Condoleezza Rice? Are they still on the committee? About Mel Kiper Jr. Is he on the committee? I doubt it. Should be. All right, man. Now I'm at that point where I just stalled. Just ran out of gas. We're sputtering now. Well, here in these last few seconds, I'll put you've been noticing them cards? About them cards. Click on them cards. All right, maybe I'll come back with another video that's not college football rankings related. Good talk, man. Tried to have this talk with the guy at work, but he heard none of it. All he wanted Buckeyes, Buckeyes, Buckeyes. I think fucking Buckeyes can beat Alabama. Shut up, man. You don't know anything. I mean, they could, but this guy's really confident. He's an idiot. Dayton.